All right, we're back here at Fort Bliss Skill Center again using the lift. We're working on the Audi A6. Right now today we're going to be doing the drive shaft from JXB, the drive shaft bearing. We got a little bit of rattling, a little bit of knocking around going on, so I'm going to go ahead and drop down part of the exhaust, part of the little panels underneath, and knock out this carrier bearing. You see we got the carrier bearing. I went with the street side, so this is a little bit softer, and all the hardware to go in here. We'll be taking this bracket down, taking some of the hardware off, come up here, take these down, and hopefully I can just let the exhaust hang. Let the exhaust hang and be able to get to it, because where I'm getting to right here, y'all have probably seen in other videos how it's been done. So here we go. We got this bracket here. This is an M9 triple square. I'm gonna take that down. These little plastic clips here for this panel. This looks like it's about a 15 maybe, 15 or a 16. We're gonna take those, that's the actual bracket. We gotta take these exhaust clamps down too, slide them back. Like I said, hopefully we can just drop this down and let it hang while I work in here. We'll go ahead and knock that out. All right, so we've taken that cross brace off. I've taken the actual exhaust hangers down versus trying to get the grommet out, just a little easier. Under the clamps, there's a heat shield that covers this. That's the actual bearing carrier that we're pulling down. And then I got a trans jack, help hold up the exhaust so it's not all on the hangers on the rear. All right, those are 13s, same thing. So I've just been working with 10s and 13s so far. All right, so I used this nifty little Milwaukee cutting wheel. Got it new for Christmas. What I did is I cut the bracket down, right? And this is the old bracket. I cut a big old chunk out of there. And you'll see you got part of the bracket, then you got part of the inner bracket that holds the bearing. You see right here, you got the part of the main bracket, and part of the metal bracket for the actual bearing itself, the rubber. So by cutting this big old chunk out, it's easier to drop it down and pull it off that drive shaft that you see. All right, super easy. So here we go, we got the old one cut out. This went up in there, this went here, right? And this is part of the other rubber, and this was here. So this is, I found it pretty easy. Cut this chunk out, right? This kind of just came off because I already had it cut at the right place. And then I'd already cut through this bottom part of the bushing. So that came right off. You saw me take this off, boom. So that left this part on that carrier bearing. What I did is I tore it a little bit here and then worked my way around, spinning it and pulling and pulling and pulling this way as I cut this way. As you see, here's the bearing itself. You got to try to trim up as much as you can just so it fits flusher, a little bit better, a little cleaner for when you put that the bushing in there. So I got this mocked up here. These bolts go through and attach to the top, right? You got rubber grommets, little washer on the top, bigger washer on the bottom. I got a little bit of thread lock on here. So I'm gonna put a little bit on here so when I tighten it up, I don't have to worry about over time this vibrating and rattling free and separating. And you see this is actually marked as well. You know, it's got his brand on here or whatever, but it tells you which way to face it so that the sizing and how it's produced fits properly. You turn off. All right, we got it in. We got these two tightened up. As you saw, I put some thread lock on there. Probably should have on these as well, but I'm just gonna send it right. So here we got the hardware that came with it. It replaces the stock ones, comes out a little bit longer. Got some rubber dampening as well, like I mentioned before. So that is in. Now I just got to reattach to everything. And as you see, I got JHM down pipes, right? These are the catted and baffled. High flow cat, move back, right? Baffling through here, and then it takes the flex joint from the stock one off. no flex joint. So all the weight, it's pretty strong. You have to worry about the weight coming down with the flex joint breaking. But also up top, you can barely see, we have some Red Star test pipes that have been Cerakoted. So Red Star test pipes to mid pipes, catted and baffled, back to stock exhaust, which is pretty silent, pretty quiet unless you really rev it up. So if you're looking at what it's going to sound like, I'll try to get a video later. All right, everything's back in place now. These beauty panels and whatnot. One thing I noticed when you're putting this bracket back up, make sure you got it facing the right way. I didn't pay attention how it came down. And it took just a second to reorganize it and put it back up. But other than that, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Biggest pain in the butt is just cutting that bracket off. It's been about a week since I finished installing the drive shaft carry bearing by JXB. I use the street bushing, so it's a little bit softer. I do see a direct response with the bushing in there. I'm also using Eurocode trans inserts and rear diff inserts. So before that, it was already a little bit stiffer. Now, along with the new JXB bushing bracket, I definitely feel a more direct response from the pedal, a little bit smoother, up to about 70 miles an hour or so. Then I get a little bit more vibration. I don't know if the bushing, the bearing itself is bad, or if that's just a common deal. And then a little bit sitting at lights. I feel it come in a little bit, but good all around driving around town, 30, 45, 55, 65, nice smooth transitions, good shifts. Don't really feel a lot of rattle and vibrate. Overall, it's a great product. Hopefully we'll see how long it lasts. I know a lot of y'all already been tracking it and seeing what's going on. I almost bought the race one, whatever the harder one was. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I've already got a couple other vibrations going on from the car. One of the next projects coming up sometime in the future is the 03 Motorsport engine mounts, motor mounts that I bought like, I don't know, 4 years ago and still haven't put in. So I just mentioned the 034 Motorsports motor mounts for the A6. I'll be doing that sometime in the future. Probably do that at the skill center that you've seen the last couple of videos I've done. The next one that I'll be putting together is the thermostat housing and water pump for the Moore Door Golf that I've done a VR6 swap into. I've been chasing a coolant leak since I built the daggone thing, and the water pump looks like it's been leaking, and the thermostat housing seems like it's got some seepage, or at least where the crack pipe, the water pipe going across from the water pump is going. So I'll be putting that together soon. But as always, he's here across the board. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share the video, share the page. Let me know if you got any questions, post them up below, and then when I get a chance and see them, I'll try to get back to you guys. All right, thanks for viewing.